Imagine living with the agonizing question of what happened to your loved one for over 2 decades. For one family in Denver, Colorado, that nightmare became a reality when a mother vanished, leaving behind a bewildered son and a suspect who walked free for 24 years. It was a Friday night in a Denver suburb, and 15-year-old Brett Ledwig expected a quiet evening watching TV with his mother, Dorothy Britt. But a phone call changed everything. Dorothy told Brett she was going out. Brett immediately suspected she was meeting her ex-husband, Larry Britt, a man Dorothy had divorced just 2 months prior after an abusive 3-year marriage. Larry was known to be a brutal drunk. Later that night, Brett heard the distinctive sound of Larry Britt's custom pickup truck outside his window. He knew it was Larry. The next morning, Dorothy hadn't returned. Brett was immediately concerned, as his mom never missed work or stayed out all night. When Larry Britt called at 9:30 a.m. asking if Dorothy was home, Brett knew something was terribly wrong. He confronted Larry directly, but Larry denied everything. Brett and his older sister Susie reported their mother missing to the Lakewood police, but were told nothing could be done for 72 hours. 3 days later, Detective Phil Anderson took over the missing persons report. Brett was unwavering in his belief that Larry had harmed his mother. Investigators traced Dorothy's last movements to the Front Range Inn, a bar Larry and Dorothy frequented. Employees had seen them together until closing time, and one bartender even saw them drive away in Larry's truck. Larry Britt was the last person seen with Dorothy. When questioned, Larry Britt flatly denied seeing Dorothy that night. However, a search of his truck revealed a large quantity of blood underneath and on the back seat. In 1974, before DNA technology, forensic tests confirmed it was human blood, and the same type as Dorothy Britt's. Despite this, Britt maintained absolute denial. Detectives wanted to charge him with murder, even without a body. On August 29, 1974, Larry Britt was arrested for first-degree murder. But 2 months later, his new wife, Betty Curley, provided an alibi. She claimed Larry was with her all night. The judge deemed the case not strong enough. Larry Britt walked free, and the investigation into Dorothy's disappearance went cold for 2 decades. 25 years later, Claren Shelley, now a division chief who had worked the original case as a rookie, decided to reopen it. The first step, checking on Larry Britt's alibi witness, Betty. Detective Phil Tenney found Betty Britt in poor health at an assisted living facility. Crucially, she now recanted her alibi. She admitted Larry only returned to her house when it was getting light out, leaving ample time for him to commit the murder. Tenney also located the original blood samples collected from Larry Britt's truck in 1974. These samples were sent to Dr. Melton, who was able to extract a genetic code. The challenge? No body meant no direct DNA sample from Dorothy. The solution came through mitochondrial DNA. Dr. Melton explained that a maternal relative like Dorothy's son Brett would have the exact same mitochondrial DNA profile. Brett, who had always believed Larry killed his mother, readily provided a blood sample. The results were undeniable. The blood flakes from Larry Britt's truck matched Brett Ledwig's mitochondrial DNA type. It was Dorothy's blood. In July 1999, detectives presented their case, and 5 months later, a grand jury issued an indictment for murder against Larry Britt. On a New England morning, 25 years after her disappearance, Larry Britt was arrested for Dorothy's murder. The family's primary concern was that Larry Britt never walked free again, and they desperately wanted to know what happened to Dorothy. A deal was struck. Britt would be interviewed by a polygraph expert and had to pass a polygraph on specific issues before a deal would be considered. In January, Larry Britt was strapped into a polygraph machine and finally confessed. He admitted to arguing with Dorothy, getting upset, and shooting her. He also revealed he buried her body in a gravel pit at the Chatfield Dam and Reservoir construction site. On January 22, 2001, Larry Britt pleaded guilty to the reduced charge of manslaughter and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. While not the full measure of justice in everyone's eyes, it brought a long-awaited measure of closure for Dorothy Britt's family, all made possible by the persistence of cold case detectives and the power of DNA technology. This case stands as a testament to the fact that even decades later, breakthroughs in forensic science and the unwavering dedication of law enforcement can bring answers and accountability.